I think the easiest way to look at that is to see what Apple Pay has done for the landscape. Apple Pay has been out in the market for 1 year now. Apple Pay uses a combination of embedded mobile device security with their embedded NFC controller chip to protect the mobile payment credentials at the point of sale. They also use biometric authentication from FIDO Alliance. They use biometric authentication, which is what we call Touch ID, which is an algorithm that's stored in ARM's trust zone using their own version of the TEE. It's an embedded security software to take the algorithm and put it into a secure containerization firewall within the A8 and A9 chips. So actually, Apple has two forms of security that hackers cannot get to. So it's the highest level of security on the planet today. Apple has, I would say, in addition to the BlackBerry, Apple has the highest level of security for mobile payments today. Well, I call this the holy grail of mobile payments. And what I mean by that is, the reason why mobile payments didn't scale before, where I recently mentioned of that, the problem is that first of all, Apple is what everybody emulates. So Apple did not have NFC, they have it now. The second thing is Starbucks didn't have EMV capability at their point of sale devices, nor did they accept Apple Pay. They do now. And finally, the International Transportation Association is not using NFC in the smartphone for multiple things. Ticketing is just one of them. Payment is also going to be used. One day on the airplane, you're going to use your NFC-enabled Apple Pay to make a purchase in the plane. It's going to happen. So with regard to this holy grail of mobile payments, everybody realizes that they need security in order to make the consumer public, the banks, the mobile network operators, happy that the payment credentials are not going to be stolen by hackers. Apple does it that way with embedded NFC controller chip and the biometrics authentication. Everybody's going to follow that same route. Android Pay will use the same type of situation. But Android Pay's mobile wallet is still in the open operating system, but they're using cloud services to secure payment tokens, something called host card emulation, which provisions the payment credential token in the cloud and brings it back down into the smartphone. Microsoft will do that. Samsung is doing that now. Everybody's going to do that. So if you're not going to use an embedded secure element for the security, you're going to use cloud. But when you use cloud, and when the payment data and the token come back down into the open operating system of the smartphone, there's still a problem because it's in the open operating system of the smartphone. Therefore, something called the Trusted Execution Environment, which is a firewall, which is a mobile security OS in a firewall in the mobile apps processor chip from ARM. It's called ARM Trust Zone. This firewall is there in every single mobile apps processor chip from ARM Core A11, and it's also in every single smartphone. Essentially, every single smartphone has this firewall feature, but every single smartphone is also working with this Trusted Execution Environment embedded mobile security software, because it takes any application from the open operating system and uses global platform standardized APIs and ports it into this firewall so that hackers can't get to it. So you can run your mobile wallet payment, your loyalty program, even your video on demand services from Netflix, Amazon, and Google. So actually this technology is very, very important. And I truly believe that there will never be payment until there's security on smartphones, tablets, and other devices. And that is what's happening. Apple is doing it. That's very, very good for Apple. But everybody else will emulate, including all the Chinese, the South Korean smartphone manufacturers. Samsung is in a great position right now because Samsung is using two very interesting technologies. They're using near field communications, NFC, and they're using embedded secure element just like Apple is, but they also use the SIM card around the world in other countries because the embedded secure element, lots of mobile network operators around the world won't accept it. But they're also doing something, so they're using embedded secure element just like Apple is, and they're using tokens, cryptograms. But they're also doing something very cool and very interesting. It's legacy technology that's very relevant today, and it will be for a few more years in the future. It's called Magnetic Secure Transaction, MST technology. It simply embeds the same technology that's on a magnetic strip of a credit card now. They embed it in a chip, and it's compatible with 80% of all the existing point-of-sale devices. Now in America, we're laggards. We don't have mobile device security protection on the point of sale in millions of merchants yet. We're migrating to the EMVCo standard, but we're not there. Only 25% of the country, including Starbucks, have not migrated to EMV-enabled point-of-sale devices. And contactless is another thing. The EMV comes with the contactless requirement. So credit cards, your smartphone, use NFC contactless in order to make a mobile payment. Well, until that happens, ubiquitous payments aren't going to happen, but it is happening, and it's happening in a big way because as of October 1st of this year, every single merchant and credit card company must migrate to using chip and signature. But around the world, they've been using chip and PIN for at least 5 to 10 years. So we're laggards, but we're coming up to speed eventually. I say the sooner the better for the betterment of mobile payments and mobile security. And there's another cool thing, which is around the world and even now in the United States, people are using value-add transit cards that can be topped up and make payments for food around the subway. So it's kind of cool that your transit card is also contactless using NFC technology. But in lieu of having a smartphone, you can actually still use a contactless value-added transit card to actually do payments in the subway and around ticketing machines. So it's kind of cool. We see two technologies with near-field communications growing at the same time. The transit card more outside the country, places like China, Korea, Japan, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Malaysia, Singapore. They're using a lot of these transit cards, but they're also using the iPhone and mobile payment with the Android OS. So it's all growing, and I'm here to present today because this awareness, there's not enough awareness of these technologies. You're safe. You're safe because the point of sale, if it's compliant with EMV protocol and EMVCo standardization, it's a standard. It's safe, it's secure. Apple Pay is safe, it's secure. Everything is on the Apple phone, generally speaking, is safe and secure. I like to say that, but everyone knows at a security conference and in the security industry, there's nothing that's 100% secure or safe. But I will say that from the hardware and the software perspective, Apple has made technology so KISS principle and so cool, but it just does so much, and that's why everybody is migrating to the Apple standard for mobile payments, because it just works and it uses the KISS principle, and it is very secure. It uses the highest level of security on the planet. You have to go outside the planet to get anything better. I have talked to TriMet and also this company called Global Sherpa, making a pitch for those two organizations, because they have announced utilizing NFC mobile wallet. They're working on a mobile wallet, and I say, hello, Seattle Sound Transit, get your act together. TriMet is very competitive, and they're going to adopt NFC. So the Portland Transportation Network and the use of mobile technologies is absolutely cutting edge. Well, what happens is, number one, you can track the phone. Number two, the phone can be locked. Number three, because of the biometric authentication, if you enable your 4-digit PIN code, and because of biometric authentication, they can't get into the phone. Actually, nobody can get into the phone, not even Apple. That's because Apple cares about the privacy as well as the security. So the thing is if you have lost your phone, the first thing to do is call the mobile network operator, because they have trusted service manager technology. They can identify where it is, they can lock it, because every single iPhone in the world, and except in China, they have this term called the Shanjiaiji, which is mountain bandit cell phones, fake cell phones. Every single mobile network operator that allows a mobile cell phone into their operator's network has an IMEI number, which is the manufacturing number for each device. Every cell phone that is used in a mobile network operator because of the GSMA must have an IMEI number. If it has an IMEI number, they have complete and can have complete control when that IMEI number appears on any network anywhere in the world. That's a real cool thing to track mobile devices. Actually, mobile devices can be tracked everywhere in the world. Right. This is very, very interesting, and I believe the future will probably come from either Samsung, Google, or Apple, because everyone knows the problem of battery life. People have tried to use solar technology, and even batteries are so thin that you just have it with it. But it's not the real solution. I think we're still a number of years away from the real solution for the security. In the meantime, that's why these whole external battery chargers are such hot items. But be very careful when you buy one, because if it doesn't show the watt hours on the back of the device, especially in China, customs will confiscate it from you because there are problems of rechargeable batteries blowing up. And the airline industry is very sensitive about that. We're not yet ready for the latest technology of battery life on mobile devices. We're not there yet. I hope we can get there soon. Yeah, that's where everything's migrating. In fact, when I travel in the United States, I don't have to use money. I either use a credit card or a contactless credit card, or I use my Apple iPhone. It just works, and it will work at more. Apple will be ubiquitous with every merchant, not just in the United States. As soon as they can get rid of some of these protectionist strategies from some of these countries who won't allow Apple Pay in, once they overcome those things, they will be ubiquitous on the globe and on the planet. That's why I say the three things that are needed to scale mobile payments, not just in America, but globally, are, number one, Apple needs to adopt NFC in the smartphone for mobile payments. There it is, Apple Pay, 1 year now. Number two, Starbucks and all their point-of-sale devices need to adopt EMV and NFC technology. They go together at the point of sale for Apple Pay to be used there, and Android Pay and Samsung Pay, etc. And number three, the International Airline Transportation Authority, along with all the other transportation organizations, need to adopt NFC. But actually, if you look at the situation, subways are using NFC now all over the world. Taxis are using it all over the world. It really is the airline industry is the last to adopt it. But they have a 19-point plan, and Apple is just waiting for that. Apple has an app already waiting for that. They do charge a small fee with the credit card companies, and I believe with the banks as well. But it's minuscule to be a mover and shaker, because I can tell you, I've been pitching mobile payments and NFC technology since 2008. I made that prediction of what needed to happen in 2009 in Shanghai. And you can see everything that I've said is actually coming through. You'll be hearing announcements about the airline industry adopting this, we hope, in 2016. And what I do is want to make sure with the company that I work for, Rivets Corp, is that the developers around the world use trusted applications, and we provide developer tools to enable that. Because the real problem that we have is not that the mobile devices are not secure, it's the people developing the software cannot be trusted. We need a United Nations of trusted computing software people and trusted computing apps. In fact, I'm waiting for the first mobile network operator to have a website specifically for trusted computing apps. In lieu of that, we have Apple's iTunes online store, which is the closest thing, because they care about security and privacy. So Apple is the closest we have to an organization that cares about mobile security for mobile payments. And not just payments. You need to protect your technology from hackers for MP3s, MP4s, video, DVD, songs. It's going to happen. Even the Chinese people are now paying for MP3s and MP4s. The world will be secure because the cost of all this technology, the multimedia technology, will trickle down so it's cost effective for everyone on the planet. That's the eventuality.